If there's one thing we know about digital storefronts shutting down, is that physical game prices tend to go through the roof, like we saw with the Xbox 360 a couple of years ago. So that's why today we wanted to look back at our PS3 collection and focus solely on the physical-only PS3 games in our collection.
Yeah, we took a look at our entire collection and we broke them into actually several categories because we want to make some videos about what is worth collecting on the PS3 today. They are not in the digital marketplace on the PS3. They're not in the PS4 or PS5 marketplace as well. Also, they never got any remakes or remasters. So this is the only way that you can play these games today. So in other words, these games that we are talking about today are stuck on the PS3. I'm going to start off with one of my absolute favorite games on the PS3, and that is 3D Dot Game Heroes. This is an action RPG by Atlas. This is such a unique title that I absolutely feel like everyone should at least give this game a shot, should be able to play this game. But now, after doing the research that we did for this video, we know that this is disc only. This is the only way that you can play this game. It was never released for the PS3 digital marketplace. It's never come to the PS4 or the PS5, either digitally or physically. It's never had a remaster or any remake. So this right here, this PS3 physical version, is the only way you will ever get to play 3D Dot Game Heroes.
Typically, this was around $100 for many, many years, maybe even higher than that. And then it wasn't that long ago where we went to just a brick and mortar store and then it was down to like $50, which surprised me knowing all of this. But now it's shot back up to around $100 again. So this is one of those that you definitely should be on the lookout for. And if you find it for a good price, absolutely add this one to your collection because you're not going to be able to find it for a better price than this.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. As much as I don't like condoning, of course, paying $100 for a game, I would say just try to get out there, try to look for this game and try to find it for, around that $50 price. Maybe not every single store has knocked their prices up to $100 yet. But I feel like as the year goes on, as we get closer to that date that the marketplace shuts down, we're probably going to see this game go up in price even higher. Continuing on, we have Folklore. Now, this is a action RPG. This is first party. This is the Sony published game, and it's definitely a really unique, again, another unique RPG. It's more like a dark fantasy style, and it has a really awesome way of telling a story, and love the battle system in this game as well. And it's another one that, again, is not available digitally in the PS3 store, nor is it in the PS4 or the PS5 store. It has never had any remakes or remasters. So this one also is stuck right here on the PS3 physical disc only.
And other than being a early PS3 title and also similar to 3D Dot Game Heroes, this one typically would be around $100, but it looks like similar to that game as well. It had come down to like $50, $60, but it hasn't quite gone up there again. So another one that is, if you see it, definitely jump on this one because we've gone to game stores where this one has been way higher than $60. And being an early title and a PS3 exclusive, that is probably a decent price for this game right now. So we definitely recommend, again, to be on the lookout for this one and add it to your collection.
I remember seeing this one in glass cases 3-4 years ago, I feel like during COVID, and it was much higher. It was usually in the $100 range, and then it's come down, and I'm glad to see that it hasn't quite started to go back up yet again. So that's good news, but I would definitely, I wouldn't wait. I would just try to go find this one and jump on it.
And lastly, although it's not available in the PS3 store, it did have some DLC that you can still grab before the store shuts down in 2027. So definitely go into the store and check that out as well, although the game is not available like we said. It only makes sense to move on to another first-party game, and this is actually a sequel to a PS2 game as well. And this is Genji, Days of the Blade. And this is a action hack and slash game similar to the Onimusha games. It's another game that is not available in the PS3 marketplace. It was never remastered or ported to PS4 and PS5. And it was also a launch title on the PS3 back in 2006. So this was a very early game. I wouldn't say this was difficult to find, but we still had to look for a good copy of this one, since every time you look for an early PS3 game, then they're going to be a little bit more beat up, like we've also seen on the 360 when we collect for that. And while you may think that this would be an affordable game to add to your collection, this one also surprisingly has started to go up in price.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I remember seeing this game for years around the $10 to $15 range, but now it has gone up, slightly to $25 to $30. But I think, with the store closure again, it's probably going to keep going up in price as people realize that this is only available physically for the PS3. But while it's not in the PS3 store, there is some DLC available for this game in the PS3 store. So I think that's worth taking a look at, seeing if that's something that you want to add to your experience when you play this game, or maybe you already have this game and you want to just look at the DLC because, once the store closes, you won't have another chance to grab this DLC. So take a look at that as well. And also try to look for this game physically sooner than later because, 25 to 30 is starting to sound kind of reasonable for these PS3 games. Next up is number 5 in a long-standing series. That is Gran Turismo 5. Now, we have the XL edition, which includes just some extra cars and some bonus tracks. Also, it has a cool, reversible cover that we always love to flip the reversible cover around just so the game looks slightly different on our shelf. But this Gran Turismo is also just stuck to the PS3. It never got ported to the PS4 or the PS5. Hasn't been remastered or remade, but I think that's pretty typical for these types of games because, now there's Gran Turismo 7 as well on PS5. Now, with this being a racing sim that gets, periodic upgrades, obviously there's a Gran Turismo 6, which is on the PS3 as well. And we're actually missing that one, so we need to go find that one soon. And then there's Gran Turismo 7, which is on the PS4 and the PS5. So I wouldn't expect them, I guess, to port this one, but I still think that it's worth picking all of the Gran Turismos up, really, if you are a fan of these series, if you like the racing sim game. But also, this one is pretty reasonably priced.
And considering, like you said, we have the XL edition, for, at least for what we've seen on our research here, is that it's about $10 to $15. But, there is a standard edition for this one too. So the price might fluctuate a little bit depending on which one you get. But you're probably looking at around $10 to $20 for this XL edition as well, which, again, comes with more cars and it comes with more extra content. So it might be worth considering this one rather than just the standard one. Because I do think there was a prologue edition as well that we've considered picking up from time to time, but I think that's more again just kind of like a entry, not an entry level, but it's more just before the actual game came out. So
that's right.
So that there's a physical for that too. So we have another early title here, also known as somewhat of a Halo killer, as they considered it back then. This is Haze. And I love the cover on this one, actually. I think this one stands out. When I go to a game store, I see this one. Obviously, eventually we had to pick this one up. I knew very little about this one. But it is not available in the store. And that it was never remastered, never ported to PS4 or PS5. And this, like I said, was supposed to be PS3's version of Halo. And I don't think it quite lived up to those expectations. Obviously, it's still stuck on the PS3 and nobody has revisited this game other than maybe modding it on PC and bringing up the graphics on it as well.
Something that I thought was interesting about this title, though, is that Ubisoft did originally intend for this game to be multi-platform. So they were thinking about bringing it to Xbox 360 and to the PC, but it was canceled during development. So then it ended up just being a PS3 exclusive. I wonder how it would have done if they did do that multi-platform thing. But either way, this exclusive now is, stuck on the PS3 and you're not going to be able to play it anywhere else. But it is still very reasonably priced. This one also goes for between $10 to $15. So, you can find this one, I feel like, pretty commonly. We see it pretty frequently at our game stores. Again, it's more of a thing of finding it complete and making sure it doesn't look like it was dunked in a toilet or something like that. But otherwise, I think you can get this one pretty reasonably priced, and it's pretty common.
Well, we continue with more of the first-party games, of course, because those are important to mention, especially the early titles. And this is Heavenly Sword. This is a game by Ninja Theory. which we know that they worked very closely with Sony or PlayStation very early on, before they were purchased by Xbox, and then now obviously they're out on their own again. Yeah, this is a action-adventure hack-and-slash game, and it's kind of similar to the other types of games that Ninja Theory have made in the past and after this game as well. And this was a lot of people's early favorite on the PS3. You know, it wasn't quite a launch title, but it had kind of that whole early launch title window in a sense, a few months later, or at least the following year. And this one's also stuck on the PS3. It never actually had a digital version in the PS3 store. Never got any sort of remaster or like port to PS4, PS5, although I'm sure a lot of people would love to see something like that, or even a sequel to this game. But yeah, it's again only available there and physically only. And physical only. And knowing all of this, you know, you would almost think that something like this would be more expensive, but it's still pretty affordable.
Yeah, surprisingly, this one is another one of those games that is around $10 to $15. So I think this is one I would definitely be on the lookout for. I would keep my eye out for this game. I will say this is one of those, again, that we don't see as frequently. We definitely don't see it in good shape frequently. We were on the lookout for this game for quite a while, and this is the copy we finally landed on and got it. And I'm glad that we did because, yeah, it's not a super easy game to find, but when you do find it, it should be reasonably priced around $10 to $15. All right, this is a pretty famous first-party game, I would say, for Sony. I mean, Sackboy here is like one of their biggest mascots, and that is LittleBigPlanet. And we have both the original version and we have the Game of the Year edition. This is a puzzle, platformer, sandbox, creation style game, like make your own levels types of game. And this one, surprisingly to me at least, is only available on the PS3 in this physical format. It was once digital on the PS3 marketplace, but it's actually been delisted. And so now the disc is the only way you can get it.
And of course, we had to get both editions of this game, like you said. And the Game of the Year edition actually has a bonus content, as they say here, valued over $30. So it has DLC that you want that probably also was delisted from the marketplace back in the day alongside the game. So this is definitely a little bit more sought after if you want all the DLC. Now, I do think that some services have been shut down on this game. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's some multiplayer components and probably stuff that you would do over the PlayStation Network, multiplayer games or whatever you had to do. But this is definitely worth looking into getting the Game of the Year edition because of that extra DLC. We're big proponents of getting DLC on disc and stuff like that, and this is a great example of one to get. And the price for the just the standard edition of LittleBigPlanet is going to be around $10 to $15. So again, very affordable. And the Game of the Year is going to be probably around like $20 to $25. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive than that. But you know, it shouldn't really be hard to find these, and chances are most of you probably have this in your collection, but maybe you somehow missed the Game of the Year edition, and that might be the one that you add to your collection now, knowing that, you know, this game has been delisted alongside the DLC.
And just like the first game here, LittleBigPlanet 2 is also only available physical on the PS3 disc. And this is another one that was at one point digital in the PS3 store, but now it's disc only. It hasn't been ported to the PS4 or the PS5, hasn't been remastered or remade, and it's also still pretty affordable too. It's in that $10 to $15 range, and I think both of the LittleBigPlanet 1 and 2 are definitely worth adding to your collection because this is a long-standing series, and I'm pretty surprised that there hasn't been a full collection of all these games that have come out. And honestly, I have popped both of these games in since those online features have been cut out, and I barely really notice it. I mean, I can still make levels, I can still play through the levels. These games are worth playing, they're worth collecting.
And they're both in a very good price range as well. Another one that's $10 to $15, so we could probably make a whole episode of $10 to $15 games on the PS3. But I don't think there was a Game of the Year edition for this one.
Not
so
that I'm aware of. Yeah.
This is at least the only one that we have in our collection. So yeah, again, $10 to $15. Get both of the LittleBigPlanet games.
And we're not quite done with LittleBigPlanet. Oh no, we have more, and that is LittleBigPlanet Karting as well. And I think this is one of the last ones we added to our LittleBigPlanet collection because we kind of went on a whole thing where we made sure that we collected all the Little Big Planet games. And karting is that like weird one that I feel like nobody talks about, but this is another one stuck on PS3. It's never been ported to PS4 or PS5, and no remakes, no remasters. So this is the only way that you can play it. It was also just like 1 and 2. It was once digital on the marketplace for PS3, but it's now been delisted and now it is disc only.
And no surprise, this is another $10 to $15 game. So again, 100% add this one to your collection too, so you have all 3 Little Big Planet games on the PS3. And this is obviously like a Mario Kart clone. There's a kart racing, arcade racing game that we've been actually looking forward to playing more of.
All right, I feel like we've kind of redeemed ourselves a little bit because we started off with some pricey games and now we've gone on this whole streak of $10 to $15 games, which it gives me some hope that there is still some PS3 collecting that we can do out there that's affordable. And if you made it this far in the video though, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. I mean, these videos, surprisingly, they do take quite a bit of work for us to put all this information together, to double check these marketplaces, to make sure that we're giving you the correct information, checking the prices, making sure that those are also accurate, at least as of today. I mean, I know people watch this maybe a couple months from now, they might be saying, are you kidding me? $10 to $15? That's not correct anymore. But we really try our best to give you guys the most accurate information we can. And so just making that simple like and subscribing helps us out incredibly and tells us that you want more content like this. We like the last kart racer. Let's move on to another kart racer. This is a first party game again, and that is ModNation Racers. This is, of course, just like the theme of the video here, it is only on the PS3. It was never ported to the PS4 or the PS5. It was, however, once in the digital marketplace for PS3, but it was delisted. So now it is disc only. This is the only way you can get it. And this just like a silly kart racing game.
And you guessed it, it's reasonably priced at $10 to $15. That could be the name of this video, I think. So 10 to 15, but it's a good price range. I'm good paying $10 to $15 for an old game. And
Heck
so, like you said, we started out very high, but then we've taken it down to a reasonable level here. So yeah, $10 to $15 for yet another kart racing game. And going back on the $10 to $15, you definitely don't want to be at the $30 to $35 range on these ones. So get them now. There's no reason you should wait. Now, if you've been watching our channel for a while now, you know that this next game is going to be a little bit of a sensitive subject for us because we made a PS3 video a couple of years ago where we made a big mistake. And of course, we're talking about MotorStorm here, which back then it came with a console that was supposed to be backwards compatible and you could play PS2 games on it. As we all know now, you can play PS1 games on any PS3, but only select ones you can play PS2 games. And this was one of them, at least limited availability, I think, for PS2 titles. This was actually a launch title in Japan, and later on it came to North America and everywhere else. And this is an off-road racing, arcade racing game, very popular early title. Lots of people loved this game. And it was actually the first of 4 MotorStorm games that came out on the PS3.
And it's another reasonably priced one. It's our magic little price there of $10 to $15. That's the sweet spot for collecting for the PS3. And yep, again, just fully exclusive to the PS3. It didn't get any modern ports and never been remastered. Now, this is not the only MotorStorm that is physical only. Matter of fact, only MotorStorm RC received a digital release out of all the other 4 MotorStorm games that have come out. So we're still looking for the other 2 MotorStorm games, but definitely start with MotorStorm 1. All right, we're on our last game for today, and that is White Knight Chronicles. Now, this first one says International Edition on it, and this one is shrink wrapped, and there's a good reason for it. So yeah, just wait a couple seconds here. You'll see why. But this White Knight Chronicles never received a digital version of it on the PS3. It's not been ported to the PS4 or the PS5. There's never been any remakes or remasters for this game. And the reason I was so interested in this one is because it is made by one of my favorite developers, Level 5. the people who brought us Dark Cloud. They brought us Ni no Kuni, Yokai Watch, Fantasy Life, so many other great RPGs, action RPGs in general. And so White Knight Chronicles is one of those kind of hidden gems, I feel like, that a lot of people don't talk about. But they're great games to have in your collection, but also great ones to obviously get now for your PS3 collection, knowing that they are physical only on the PS3.
Before you go on to the second game, another one that is in the $10 to $15 range, but we don't expect that to stay for much longer, especially since this is physical only. People are going to catch wind of this one, and suddenly it's going to be double that.
Yeah, and being a JRPG, I completely agree. Like, as soon as people figure this one out, the price will probably go up. And then let's just move on to the second one here, and that is White Knight Chronicles 2. Now, like I said, the reason the first one is still in shrink wrap is because White Knight Chronicles 2 includes the fully remastered White Knight Chronicles game on disc. This one also, just like the first one, has never been in the digital marketplace. It's not been ported to modern consoles. It's not been remade, remastered. I feel like it's probably just been forgotten about, to be quite honest. Something to just mention about both of these games is that Sony did shut down the online multiplayer components of these games back in like 2013. But I wouldn't let that deter you from getting these games or playing them, because the single player story campaigns are fully playable offline. So you don't need to worry about that, but just know that some of the services that you might be seeing in the menus are no longer playable due to the servers shutting down in 2013.
And naturally, like you said, since this one has both games on there, for collectability, we obviously recommend that you pick up both of these if you can find them. But the second one is going to be a little bit more expensive, so that ranges between 25 to 30, but for good reason as well, because it has two games. So really the choice is yours, but why not pick up both of them if you can find them?
If you're interested in more PlayStation content, check out these videos right here.
Thanks for watching, and we will catch you guys next time.
Bye!